I want to thank you for watching the following 20 minutes of me deep diving into the new QuickBooks Online Accountant. Let's go ahead and start with the client dashboard. When I look at my client dashboard here, I see obviously the name of the client file with some information. By the way, you can have a note here too, and I'll show you where to put that. And you can just hover over and see exactly what the note says. When you hover over the status column and the actual QB icon, you can see the actual level of QuickBooks Online that your client has, as well as the last person who logged in. And then under bookkeeping, I can see changes to the closed books just by clicking in there. A few other items, I'll show you where that brings you. When was the last automatic bank download, right? The downloaded transactions within QBO, when was the last one done? The next pay date due for payroll, let's see, tax, etc. And then open requests. If you look at a related video on the new QBOA, it's really a portal now where I can request a document for my client to upload and even upload one to them. So kind of document management, if you will, in the new QBOA. But I can see the open requests, and if say I have 3 requests out there for documents like last month's statement or payroll hours or something like that, it'll tell me what requests have been received in the document space of QBOA. So if I go click on 3 changes to closed books, it brings me into the center for the particular client from the client dashboard. Now I'm not in the QBO file yet, right? If it's dark green up here in the header, I'm still in QBOA. But I can look at the balances, so it's like an account watch list. The changes to the closed books, I'd click review now, and that would bring me into QuickBooks Online. Here's 78 unaccepted transactions, 1 check without a payee. So all of this data we are surfacing up so you can prioritize what clients to work on, and even see some detail just by clicking on the client without having to go in or open up the QBO file itself. You can see information on payroll. Here would be where my requests are that I have out, and of course here are the documents that I've either received or waiting to. So if I click on review now, it's going to bring me into the QuickBooks Online file, and you'll notice the header above will turn light blue, and I'm actually in the file, and here are the exceptions to my closing date. So I can go right there. I can easily go back to the client dashboard by going back to practice. There's other ways to get into the client QBO file. I can just click on the drop down and then go to Alvarez Books. So go to Clients QuickBooks, Alvarez Books. It's going to go ahead and bring me into the file. The header is going to turn to light blue, and now this is as QuickBooks Online. Now I can do the work that I do in here. Yes, this briefcase, these are your accountant tools. You can watch that and me playing around in there in a related video. You can also get back to the QBOA client dashboard by clicking on QB Accountant in the upper left of the file you're in. It rolls it over to dark green, and then you're back on your client dashboard. I can sort the window as well, so I can see for review who has actual data in there, and I would prioritize and guess that these 4 clients are the ones I'm going to work on this morning. Let's go back into Alvarez Books for a second. And here is the note. So you can actually add a note here, and that's what you see on the client dashboard. I can also quickly search for a client, as you're going to have a lot more client files than I do, and it'll bring me right to that, just like any search field in QuickBooks Online. Now look for a related video on how you add a client to your client dashboard. However, if I click the gear icon here, I can choose what columns that I'd like to add to the client dashboard itself, in this case, books to tax. And I can choose as well how many clients I want to look at. And I find the compact view just the most streamlined when you're reviewing your client dashboard. And as you saw from there, you can even include inactive clients to the list. I can even add a desktop client, though we're not going to ping to that, and you're not going to see any information or data surfaced up to you on the dashboard, but you could still add the desktop client to do a request. The next feature we'll look at has to do with staff access and inviting your staff to your new QuickBooks Online Accountant realm. On your QBO client files, you only need 1 accountant user. So whoever that is, that's going to be the person that signs up for the QuickBooks Online Accountant. And for the rest of the people in your firm, your staff, they're going to be working on QBO client files. You just invite them to this realm. So you can either click the plus sign, user, or you can go over to the team and you'll see the list of staff that we have in this file right here. See, Izzy is the master admin, and actually I am just one of the staff. But notice you can give access now, which is excellent, and prevent some of your staff from accessing other client files and also from doing firm administration tasks. So I'm going to click add a user, And we'll just add Ray here, Isaac, and you put in their email and their title. And then click Next. Second step is firm and administration and books. So the basic staff is going to be able to view the firm information with a few other options, view or edit. Will they be able to do anything like inviting other users or editing them? No, but you could allow them to view only or edit. And same with subscriptions and billing. Right now they can't even view that, but you could have them view only or edit. And then for the firm books, what are they allowed to do? In this case, I'm not allowing Ray to have any access to any customer, vendor, AR, or AP. The other levels of access are full, so they'd have access to all that stuff, or custom, and you just kind of pick and choose what you want. But Ray's going to be basic. Now, the next screen has to do with actual client access. And you can finally, in QuickBooks Online Accountant, different from the current generation you guys might be using now, I can just allow access for Ray to ADB Consulting or Beautiful Landscaping, etc. But we know this is what you guys have been asking for. Now, of course, once Ray is in QBOA and she has access to these two files, there's no way to restrict her from actual functionality in the client QBO file. She will be a company admin with accountant tools. I can at least choose what files she does not have access to. And then, of course, you just save it. They get an invite. They log in, and they see the clients on the list that you gave them access to, and they can see some of the other firm administrative things, assuming they have access. If they don't, then they won't see it. So this is how you bring staff in to your QuickBooks Online Accountant. And then, of course, you can be on the team page and just make sure everybody has the correct level of access. We'll go back to the client dashboard. The next feature of the new QuickBooks Online Accountant we're going to dive into is wholesale billing, or when the firm pays for the client's QuickBooks Online subscription. Because you know that a QuickBooks Online is a subscription per file, different from how the desktop is. So in order to make it most affordable for clients and maybe just your client base or clients that have more than one QBO file, 50% off for the life of the subscription is going to go a long way. So let's show you how you do that. It's very similar to the current version of QuickBooks Online Accountant, but we've enhanced the experience. So I'm going to click on Add Client, and we'll put in the client information here. I'm just going to do a company name. You would fill out the appropriate information. I'm going to leave it blank just for the purpose of this video, the billing address, etc. And then you go ahead and click QuickBooks Products, right? See, so don't click Save as I was about to, because that'll just put it on the client on your list, which is good if you're actually just adding QuickBooks Desktop clients, since the new QuickBooks Online Accountant will not yet ping the desktop, but you could still, add desktop clients just to have them on your list, or for the request feature that you can watch a related video on the portal we have here in the new QBOA. But after filling out the appropriate info, the only thing you really need is the display name. Click on QuickBooks Products, and you're going to choose the product. And yes, payroll is supported now on the wholesale billing. So when you add a client to your consolidated bill, you can include Essentials with Payroll or Plus with Payroll. Simple Start's not on the list. Why? Because Simple Start only allows you to just have one user. You can't invite anybody. I can't transfer the master admin or something like that. So it's really just Essentials Plus, and those are the most popular SKUs of QuickBooks Online anyway. I like the fact that you can click Compare Products, and it brings you to comparing Essentials versus Plus, or Essentials with Payroll versus Plus with Payroll. So you can do that before, just as you're consulting. And I'm going to have this just be an Essentials client. And notice it says it's 50% off for the first year. That is for the client will pay, right? And I just want to show this before I go into the wholesale billing, because if the client does pay, what's nice is instead of having to transfer the master admin, I can choose who the master admin is. Whoever's really paying for the subscription should be the master admin, but sometimes the client will pay and yet you'll still be the master admin. The client will not see your account if the firm's doing the wholesale billing. But assuming the client is a master admin, you can just click Client Master Admin and put in their email and re-enter the email, and they get an email. When they log in, they're the master admin or the accountant user. So you don't have to deal with the whole transfer master admin thing, and that's going to be a lot better for us as a whole, at large. So I'm going to do the firm pay wholesale. 50% off, but for the life of the subscription. And then when you click Save, it's going to bring up the credit card entry window. And I don't have a credit card or a live credit card to put in here, but again, with the wholesale billing, the firm is paying. So it'd be the firm credit card, put that in, and whoever is the cardholder name and the billing address, it all has to match out. And then what will happen is the client will be added to your list. And when you go to the gear icon in the new QBOA, your account, you'll see under personal info, there'll be a wholesale billing section. And this is where you'll just kind of manage and look at all the wholesale clients you have here and their status, what version they're in, the price. Does it include payroll, the price of that, and any actions to do like cancel or upgrade from Essentials to Plus, which will also be supported with the new QBOA and the wholesale billing. You'll see your status, next bill date, and bill total for QuickBooks Online subscription, as well as the payroll subscription. And then you'll just click here to if you want to move clients that are already paying for their own QuickBooks Online to your consolidated bill. And so it's a lot more enhanced as far as what you see, as far as visibility, and when adding the client, how you can choose who the master admin is if the client's paying. And then of course, under wholesale billing, the firm is the master admin and the client will not see your account screen when they go into QuickBooks Online. And now let's dive into the accountant tools when you actually launch a QuickBooks Online file from QuickBooks Online Accountant. I'm going to click the drop down, go to Clients QuickBooks, and I'm going to choose Beautiful Landscaping. Notice how the header turns light blue when I actually go into the file, and now I am actually in the Clients QuickBooks Online file. You guys recognize that home page there. And then you'll see this briefcase here. Call this the Accountant Toolbox. Click on it. Books to Tax, that'll have its own video, so look for that. But let's go over some of the key accountant tools that you guys are going to be familiar with, either when you're working in QuickBooks Accountant Desktop. Some of these tools were taken from the Client Data Review module in there that you guys probably used for years. But I'm going to show some key things about journal entry, about Reconcile, why it's important to be the accountant user when you're working on those. Let's look at reclassified transactions first. And it's going to take you right from the briefcase when you click on one of the tools to the particular module. I mean, this tool's been around since 2010, so no need to really go too deep on it, but you can check off all of these checks written to the wrong account. I can click the appropriate account that it needs to go to, the appropriate expense account, if you will. And then, of course, delivery fee sounds great. And even do some class tracking if you like. There is no way to do the from account. It's really the to account. I know we did give that ability in the last couple of years to the QuickBooks Accountant Desktop, but in QBOA, when you're in a QBO client file, working on reclassified transactions, it'll affect just the to account, and non-item based transactions are supported. But it's a real great way to, in a batch, reclassify and properly categorize accounts and transactions that were miscategorized. Let's go to the next tool, voided deleted transaction. This is actually built off of the audit log, and it shows all the transactions that were voided or deleted by the client. And I can click into that so I can see, I have to obviously recreate this check, and I can see the information. I go ahead and recreate from there. This tool is also in Premier and Enterprise on the desktop side of things, but it's also an accountant tool and in your toolbox. Okay, next would be write off invoices. Now I have all these invoices that I could write off to a particular bad debt account. Next tool we'll look at would be journal entries. Now journal entries I can do in Simple Start, I can do in Essentials, I can do in QuickBooks Online Plus. I don't have to be an accountant. But what's different is we have a checkbox, much like you have in QuickBooks Accountant Desktop. Is this an adjusting entry? And that correlates to the adjusting journal entry report. I'll show you in a sec. So let's go ahead and clear this, and we'll X out and go back to Home and then the toolbox there. If I go down to Accountant Reports, you'll see this adjusting journal entry report right here that you can run, and that's just going to have all the journal entries that had that flag assigned, right? That box checked. Okay, back to the toolbox or the briefcase. Close books. This is going to bring me to the preference where I can go ahead and close the books. It's an advanced preference. You click on accounting and you can put in the date, and also you can choose for a password, so it behaves just like it does when you close the books in the desktop. It's just going to pop a warning and then a password. If you have it, you can go ahead and make the change. So back to the briefcase. Reconcile is important because of the ability to actually undo a bank rec. And it behaves just like you would undo it in the desktop, right? Interest and service charges are not going to be deleted. There is no undo tab on the Reconcile grid in Simple Start, Essentials, or Plus. You have to go in from QuickBooks Online Accountant or be the accountant user. And then my custom reports will bring you to the reports you've memorized, if you will, quote unquote, right? Custom reports. Report tools will bring you to the actual accountant home where you can set the report tool default date range. If you wanted to know where that went, that's where that is. And then finally, your chart of accounts, but you can get there under the gear icon as well. And the new window, just to show you again, this is if I went up and right-clicked on a tab and duplicated. If you're using Internet Explorer 10 or 11 or Firefox and you're not sure how to do that same Google Chrome trick, you can just click on New Window. When it's time to close the books, you'll find the fully integrated Books to Tax to take you from closed books to a final tax return. So again, under the suitcase or accountant toolbox there, Accountant Tools, Books to Tax. Here's the Getting Started page where you can choose the particular entity type, and we'll go ahead and map most of the accounts for you just by clicking Map My Client's Data. You have several options, 1040, 1065, 1120, and 1120S. I'm going to leave it for 1040. As you can see, QBO has mapped most of my accounts, but some remain unmapped, and it's as simple as just clicking and then choosing the appropriate line that would go on the tax return. Once all accounts are mapped, you would see the ending balances that will go to the tax return, and then you can click Post to Tax Return to post the balances to the fields in Intuit Tax Online. The Intuit Tax Online program will open in a different window, and you'll be brought to the Profile page. You can also go to the Input Return window to check the return, as well as file the return from here. As you scroll down, you'll see the Book to Tax imports and how all the balances came over from QuickBooks Online into Intuit Tax Online. Built into QBOA is my ProAdvisor membership. It's a tab on the left, just called ProAdvisor. And when you're signed in, it'll tell you exactly the level, silver, gold, or diamond, that you are on. So it keeps track of that. And everyone who's invited to the QBOA realm, and I mean the staff, assuming they are also ProAdvisors or even just the free type of ProAdvisors just supporting QuickBooks Online. Because remember, you only need to pay the ProAdvisor fee, the $549, if you're going to be supporting desktop clients and if you need that desktop software and compatibility. If you're just going to be supporting QuickBooks Online clients, the ProAdvisor membership for that is no cost. So it'll show exactly what level you're on and how you can get there. With the new ProAdvisor program, it has a lot to how many QBO clients you have and if you're certified. And we have certification for QBO and desktop, as well as advanced certification will be out in December of 2014 for QuickBooks Online. If you want to learn more about getting certified, you click here. You can watch the video. Here's where you'd add a client to QBOA. If, again, you are a cloud advisor or a ProAdvisor, you've kind of bundled those together anyway. But if you're a ProAdvisor just supporting QBO clients, but all of a sudden you also want to support desktop, then you could buy that desktop bundle, like I mentioned, for $549. And then here's where you can connect your accounts. If you want to log into your ProAdvisor membership, you can connect it to your QBOA login as well to bring all this information in. So I have my certification, QuickBooks Online, the optional training modules where I can just go ahead and take the exam, as well as the online advanced where I can take exam 2. Now that's grayed out until December when we launch that platform, but it'll be there too. And here's where I would view my certification history also. On the profile, this is where I can get listed on a Find a ProAdvisor directory. Do I want to make my profile public, preview the profile, all the information about your practice, etc. Just basically building in that profile page when you used to go to proadvisor.intuit.com right into QuickBooks Online Accountant. And of course, you can get noticed on Find a ProAdvisor, improve your ranking, all this information here, and you can read a couple helpful articles as well. Training, this would be particular training, QuickBooks Online related, and then discounts that you have for your level for different offerings that we have. Again, a lot of it dealing with QuickBooks Online. And then you have resources, how to grow your practice, moving your clients online, and then finally, any notifications. And these notifications will also be the ones you would find on the ProAdvisor app on your phone or when you log into the ProAdvisor website. So eventually we're building in the website into QBOA in its own tab called ProAdvisor. I hope that was helpful. Have a great day.